Artificial intelligence is changing the world. Undeniable what it's doing. I mean, it's taking many industries and generating rapid changes. The artificial intelligence technologies are particularly LLMs that can do coding, that can write content, that can make imagery. And so I wanted to think about, or I've been thinking about it, you have to. I mean, every profession has to say, how is AI going to impact my profession? And so it's triggered a series of contemplations for me about astrology in the age of AI. And I think this will be an ongoing conversation. Some initial thoughts I have about this topic. I think astrology is going to play a core role inoculating humanity against maybe the worst dystopic turns that AI could potentially generate. And that's simply because what astrology is a measurement of the movements of the heavens. And we've mastered that. We've got the best telescopes. We've got precision technology to know where Aries 0 is, where the 0 point of Aries is. AI is not going to change that. Maybe a tiny alteration, but there's no revolution in the measurement systems that the AI technologies are going to allow, or very unlikely. To put another way, the movements of the heavens are the same. The AI technologies on Earth do not change the movements of the heavens. And so astrology is a field that's very well situated for this coming time, because the core of our practice will not be affected by these technological so-called upgrades. So AI is going to come and revolutionize all of these industries. Look at the stories in the news now. You've got job losses, you've got coders being fired. I just saw a story that they fired coders in India. So they were going to India to hire coders for cheap labor, as big capitalist corporations do. They're even laying off those coders because they have AI to do it. And so there's a real crisis. That's just one example. There's a crisis in the art world. You know about that, where they've trained AI on all of the extant images, and it's producing work that may be copyrighted, and there's these copyright wars. I saw a story recently that designers are going out of business because basic level designers, because I can just go to AI and say, design my stationery, and boom, it's free, and I can get 50 examples. So there's a real crisis with AI. It's being used in the military. I mean, go to the Ukraine stories. AI programmed drones attacking soldiers. I just saw people describing how this is the future of warfare. It's all drone warfare. And it's who has the most drones that can swarm the fastest. So I want to come back to astrology and astrology's role. We know that the measurement of the zodiac is not going to be altered by AI. Very unlikely, because we have precision tools to tell us when the sun enters Aries precisely down to the second. What could AI then do to astrology? How might it alter it? And it's going to alter it, for sure.
Another night and I'm just walking, city lights and people talking. I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
Astrology, so much of it is, there's the measurement and then there's the meaning. I've always defined astrology, one of my favorite definitions is astrology is measurement plus meaning. Measurement plus meaning. And I remember when that first came to me as a definition, I really loved that way of looking at it. And so the measurement in this definition includes the telescopic work, where the telescopes see the sky. It includes the vocabularies by which it includes the rubrics of measurement, you might say. So for example, centimeters versus inches, feet versus meters. In astrology, the analog to that would be like tropical zodiac versus sidereal zodiac. I mean, we'll take the same data, we all agree on that data, but we might assign different labels to the data and look at it differently. Everyone is going to agree that the telescopic data shows that that's where Saturn is, that's where the moon is, that their projected position on the ecliptic is the same. We all agree with that. It's just where we start, the labels that we put on those measurements and the variety of labels, that's different amongst astrologers. That's the measurement side. And AI is not going to do much with that. AI is not going to change the measurements, I don't think. What it's going to change more than anything is the meaning side of that definition of astrology, because meaning is largely linguistic. Meaning is derived from words as a technology, how we organize language, and then we send those linguistic organizations from my mind into the mind of my client, or from my mind into the mind of the reader, another astrologer's mind through their text into me. We exchange meaning about astrology through the word and through the image. And that's why YouTube's popular as an astrological content delivery system. I mean, these big channels, these huge channels, are all about language. And so the LLM technology that AI provides is going to allow for some new linguistic formations around the astrological symbol sets. Remember, these symbol sets are alive. The words that we would ascribe to, for example, Scorpio, that's not fixed. Anybody can put new words or new expressions or new ways to come into that symbol set through newly invented word technologies or word orderings, you might say, like poetry or any of these other linguistic crafts. There's always new writings. There's always new combinations that can be strewn together to describe anything. And so in that realm, I do think the LLM technology will revolutionize astrology. I mean, I've seen people already developing software or using LLMs to put in the data set and then let the LLM trigger language sets and reorganize explanations. And I think that can go a long, long way. I mean, it can help us extend maybe creative analogy or do a lot of interesting work for the meaning side. And so I'm not poo-pooing that. I do think that there's part of the astrological processes which you might call the intuitive, the leap of intuition that can only happen in a moment of sudden insight that comes from like the human brain. We have the most powerful LLM in existence, like all the data set of the human brain and maybe the one consciousness of the collective that each of the human brains are tapped into, or sometimes people think about consciousness not even being in the brain, it's non-local, it's in the environment, so it can come to us through our cells. There's some kind of deep and profound human intelligence that I don't think the LLMs will have access to. Let me be very clear, but I think they will do a lot of work in this meaning part of what astrology is. I just want to close here and just reiterate again, the sky is here for everyone. The existence of the planets and their movements is not exclusionary, okay? Everybody has access to it. All you do is have to look up and see it. I remember seeing the moon on this last waxing phase. It was in Libra. I could see that beautiful day moon. And then it slowly, in that last quarter, you could see these day moons, and then that beautiful full moon in Capricorn that came. That is free for all beings. We've already discovered that measurement system. And so what I'm saying is that the movements of the planets and their reliability and their imperviousness to the AI technology is something we can anchor into as a humanity. Astrology is a great saving grace for us in a time of this dynamic change, technologically, because the planets aren't going away. And so we can always know, oh, there's the moon. Let me see where it is, just as an example, as I'm closing here. I mean, I've got right here, the moon is right in Aquarius, 3 degrees, 1 degree minute, right? Just made that conjunction with Pluto, and it's about to sextile Jupiter. You know, no one can take that away from me or you. We always have this, and we can always use it as a jumping off place to process our lives, whether we use LLMs as an assistant tool or not. We have this that no one can take away. I guess what I'm saying is I want to acknowledge at the beginning of this conversation, we're in the very early phases, how much astrology can protect us and we can rely on it in a time of technological change and great technological change. Remember, we're in an age of air. Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions now in air signs continuously until 2159 when they meet in Scorpio. Pluto in Aquarius until 2043, that air sign activation with these outer planet cycles. Uranus in Gemini, 2025, 2033. If there ever was a time when the air element dominates everything, it's now. And we can use astrology to ground, to stay tethered to our history. Remember, they've been measuring Aries 1 for centuries or millennia. You have measurements of that Aries 1 point or the spring equinox point from which we kick off our tropical zodiac. And so this is an ancient, these measurements are ancient and they can ground us in our histories and traditions. Unlike really anything else, it's one of our best tethering points that we've got in this current moment of time. So that's it. Just wanted to add some thoughts on AI and astrology. I'm sure you have some great thoughts. Just put it in the comments below if you want. I'm really interested in this conversation, so really curious about what others might be feeling or thinking about this. sjanderson144.com, the website, check it out. Schedule readings with me if you want to explore your symbol set and your meaning set for your life and your story. By the way, I think that's something that the LLMs aren't also going to fully eradicate, which is the human-to-human exploration of that symbol set. When two minds come together and contemplate a symbol set together, there's some magic that can happen. But you can check out my reading schedule there, sjanderson144.com. You know, looking forward to being with you. I think I'm going to do another full moon live this month, maybe try to do one full moon live every month. That live last month was really cool. I'm glad I was doing that again. So look for that. I'll probably publish its date a few days in advance so you can calendar it if you want to join. Yeah, so take care of yourself out there, guys. Great to be with you. We'll talk real soon. Okay, peace out. Bye-bye.